we see so many, so many amazing stories about people that are deciding that things isn't enough. They want to make something new. They want to start something which they've always been passionate about. And here we've got a little business called New Beginnings Toffees, and you're going to hear a whole lot about this. But the best thing about it is, we're standing here right in the factory, is they make delicious toffees. And I want to show you what I consider a delicious toffee to be. And I'm going to be in trouble for this, because it's not a toffee, it's a caramel. It's a caramel, but this one is a toffee. Look at that. That travels, and it's traveling with the two cowboys. Candy making is not an easy job. When people think, you know, as grown-ups, I always, when I was a young fellow, I said, I want to make candy for a lifetime. I want to make the sweet stuff because that's beautiful, but it's a hard job to make those things.
When we first started, we didn't have a clue about recipes or anything like that. I've been a retailer for 40 years. Tell me how to pack a shelf and then I'm fine, but I never had any knowledge about manufacturing. So you had to find ways of extending the shelf life. And then when eventually you got that right, you had to get the temperature right, because most probably the most critical thing is temperature. If it's too cold, then the product doesn't settle, and if you cook it too long, it becomes rocks. And then with the caramels, we add lots more of imported, very expensive chocolate to the basic toffee recipe. So yes, it's more complicated than what people think. And when you go to the infused product, it becomes even more complicated.
What are your products? You're doing a few things, aren't you?
We originally started off making genuine soft toffee. If I say toffee, it's like the British toffee, except that ours is not a rock hard toffee, but it's a nice, chewy, genuine toffee. And that's what we started off with. I played around with chocolate a little bit more, and we discovered that by adding chocolate to our standard toffee, it changes the texture so that it becomes like a caramel. It's nice and soft, but it's rich and it's chocolatey, and it doesn't stick to your teeth the way ordinary toffees do. And that then became our major product. But today we do a lot of different variants in the chocolate caramels. We've got the basic chocolate caramel in 22 different flavors. Wow. And then we take the caramel and we do arrange what we call our exotics. They're the first savory caramels in the world. They contain real biltong, real bacon, real Parmesan cheese, real olives, and then we do a salt and pepper, and we do one with milk stout in it.
What can you not do with a caramel? This is almost the kind of question that comes up in the back of my mind. What can you not do with?
You can't make it plain chocolate. One of our major products today is where we take our caramel and we put it in a slab form, and then we wrapped it with a very nice saying or a thank you message. And what you get is what we call a gift slab, which is a greeting card and a gift at the same time for less than what you would pay for a paper card. The mere fact that it's made by hand and with love, it makes it different to anything else out there. We're the only people in South Africa that manufactures a very, very good quality toffee. And the treacle is one of the original recipes. It's made with brown sugar and molasses. Superb. It tastes very similar to your old original Wilson's Champion toffee.
I was wondering when I'm going to have a bite. Oh, it's still my favorite. Definitely still my favorite. But you got a wine thing going there too.
Yes. This is one of the wine-infused caramels. We asked the cellar master, what are the undertones in the wines? We add those undertones back into the product to support the actual wine.
Good. I'm starting to run out of hands here, and this is what you want in a toffee factory.
See,
there's little bits in here. What is that?
Yes, that's the banana. So, yeah, we use dried bananas because obviously anything that's wet will make the caramel go gooey. so that we don't want. So it's very finely crushed banana. But it's interesting if you now compare the two. That's toffee, you could see how it's stretched and whatever, and that's your caramel. It makes a clean break, and it's much more biteable than what the toffee is.
You are coming up with innovative ways also to apply the product, not just to make the product better. The question that comes up in my mind is, where can you get all this product? Now, you're a small business, and small businesses are having a hard time getting onto retailer shelves, and you don't always necessarily want to be on their shelves. So, what's your strategy? How can people get to the caramel?
I basically started this business because I simply didn't belong in the corporate world. So our strategy right from the word go was no corporates, no chain stores. First of all, because all our goods are handmade. So we've got a very, very limited capacity to supply a group. And then we love supplying guys that deal specifically in handmade stuff. Gift stores, farm stalls, and yes, we need a bit of support from those individuals who have their own stores, because they will get a unique product that you don't find in every single supermarket.
One of the things the chocolate guys have explored a lot was to try and get online subscriptions, online sales going. Is that something in South Africa that's working, and is it working for you?
We've got a website of our own, which is an online shop, but we find that it's not working at the moment for us. I think we need a lot more exposure in order to get there. But we hope that it will catch on specifically for overseas visitors, because we make a lovely range which we call Proudly South African, that has got the big 5 on the covers, and then also the famous landmark. Now those make beautiful gifts to take back overseas. It's truly South African, and it makes an absolute lovely gift to go. So we hope that ultimately we'll be able to export.
So talking about new challenges, if somebody's looking at this, they're going to say, I want a challenge. I want to do what Jan is doing and New Beginning Toffees. What advice would you give them?
People always say that use your hobby to start a business. My advice, first of all, would be it's not as easy as people make it out to be to start a business. You've got to be an entrepreneur. You've got to have hair on your teeth. If you don't have startup capital, it's even more difficult. The secret of success is always to try and find out what your customers are really looking for, and then give them something which is different to what they can get from anybody else. And that's basically your main success factor.
Here's the sad part about this whole thing. You have to come to South Africa to come and have a New Beginnings toffee and a caramel, because it's got South African wine in it, it has biltong in it, it has Parmesan cheese in it. We travel the whole world and we haven't discovered anything with such innovation and so many very interesting flavors that are so typical to the place where they actually make it.